guy who built Real Plans along with some friends that I employed. And this is Katie Thompson. She's in Texas, and she's the chief operating manager and is my right-hand gal for pretty much everything, right, Katie? We speak on a daily basis.
Absolutely. I'm usually the one behind the computer where you don't see me.
Right. And so I'm going to, we're here to have a little chat about Whole30 and Real Plans. And so without further ado, I'm going to remove myself, and then I'm going to replace it with something way more interesting. Here we go. This is Real Plans. So could you run a poll, if you haven't already, Katie, on how many people are already members of Real Plans and how many people are not? Like a little vote thing. Can you do that?
I got it. Yep.
Okay, super. So this will kind of determine how, you know, we do this presentation to make sure that we get this right.
Looks like
what are the results?
We're hovering somewhere around 70-30, 70% that have used Real Plans before.
Okay, great. All right. So hello to the 70% of you guys who are part of Real Plans already. And hello to the 30% who are thinking of doing a Whole30 or doing Whole30 and looking to see if they can. This will make it easier for you. So first of all, I hope everyone is doing well during this crazy time. I'm locked in my house up in Los Angeles with the two children there doing remote iPad work for school. Katie is also doing kind of homeschool, right, Katie? And doing the children thing and also trying to work and make everything happen all at the same time. So just one of the caveat is if there is a child or an animal or something that just kind of suddenly appears in here and you hear it, hashtag because pandemic. I'm not in an office or anything, I'm just at home, but I do have a logo here. So welcome, and I hope that you guys are staying safe. And let's talk about how you can do a Whole30 right now. Not only just doing a Whole30 and what we're usually helping people do, but also I want to introduce to you something called my pantry, which is a way of seeing how you can do a Whole30 basically without leaving the house. That's what we're going for. We're gunning for. So let's start from the top then. This is Real Plans, and it has a weekly schedule of recipes and a shopping list that has all the ingredients that are in these recipes. And you can click this minimize thing here, and if you're a picture person like that, you can see that. And you'll notice that some of these squares don't have pictures in them, and that's because these are leftovers. That's how we designed it to kind of make it so you can distinguish between one and the other. And you'll also notice that there are empty slots in here. What's that all about? Well, we are a meal planner that don't give you kind of a meal every single day for absolutely everything, unless you do one of the templates, which I'll talk about in a second. But we think that you kind of want to do stuff, and then maybe eat some leftovers, and then have some extra leftovers. And sometimes you're not wanting to cook at all, and you're just snacking and what have you. So this is kind of my schedule. This is saying I want to cook 3 dinners. I want to have some leftovers for those dinners. I want to cook a lunch and a couple of breakfasts. But again, because of the pandemic and you're not eating out in the restaurant, maybe you want to increase the number of these. So this is basically a diet, as in it's the Whole30 diet. So these are all Whole30 compliant recipes, and we chat a lot to Melissa Urban and her team to make sure that we're current and up to date with the Whole30 and Real Plans, because I think we're the official, Whole30 meal planner. And you've got this diet and this schedule, and you can mess around. This is just a suggestion of recipes based on if you've already kind of logged in, you've given us a schedule and what have you, and said how many recipes you want per week. you can just, remove things like so. You can scroll through these delicious recipes here, and you can add things back in again that you may want to cook. Let's make this for lunch. And then also, I'm going to click in there and have a look at it. Go, yep, that's very nice meal. Have that classic chili right there. And I may want to have it as a leftover on Friday, so I can just kind of drag it over like this. It even says, do I want to move it over to Friday, or do I want to make it? I'll make it to a leftover. If I make it into a leftover, this doubles the portion size to this. So you can mess around with this quite a lot. And there's like even 3 little dots in here where you can say, oh, I just want to move this whole thing over to the 23rd for breakfast. And I can just move the meal over like that. Or maybe I want to, I can do other stuff in the meal. Oh, here's another thing you can do. You can add a recipe this way. Look, you can go 3 dots, add recipe, and it comes up this way. And then now it's showing you some other options one by one, kind of like a dating app, you and your recipes, kind of deciding whether you want to kind of go for this. So I think I'll go, I'm going to add this one. So there's lots of different ways of messing around with this recipe, this meal plan. And as you mess around with it, it creates a shopping list, of course. So there's your shopping list, and the shopping list, and will have all of the ingredients you need to make all of those recipes happen. So we advise that you go ahead and you check off the things that you already have in the kitchen. Maybe you've already got some bulk set of avocados, you got some celery, but you don't have the tomatoes yet. And when you go to the store, you can either get your cell phone out and you can basically just have whatever's left and do it. And you can add ingredients too. So a thing that I do is I always make sure that I have some chicken stock, for example. And I always make sure that this is my personal, for the Whole30 it's not good, but my personal Achilles heel is actual ketchup. So with my eggs, I normally have ketchup, so I stick that on there. But anyway, this is my plan that I'm showing you. And I always have frozen berries as well. So, I make sure, because my 13-year-old boy likes to make smoothies late at night, and I need to have frozen berries in the freezer. So I have this every week, and it's not that I need to buy this every week. I'm just saying, just a reminder that I want this every week. And you can do that by going in here, and let's say I wanted to buy some green beans. So, and I can add my green beans. And here you see, you can just add them if you want. Say, I need 1 packet, whatever, of green beans. But you can also buy this every week. And that means it would arrive and be on your shopping list every week. And as you check everything off, it goes into the Got It shop. You can also say anything that's left unchecked, you can get, if you're an Instacart kind of household, you can get it delivered to your door, or you can print it off and email it. Anyway, you get the idea. This is a meal plan that has a shopping list, and the shopping list is very customizable, and you can do your thing. So now let's go back to this planner here. So another way of adjusting, these are like automated plans. And if you go through here, you'll be able to go through all 4 weeks of your Whole30, and you can plan it all out in one go if you like. You can even run the shopping list over 2 weeks. You can do custom dates and just pick everything you need for 2 weeks. But I wanted to show you this kind of other stuff. If you go into settings, there's some other things that really help you. Because if you're really going to use this, if you're really wanting to, I'm going to go back to this thing here. If you're really going to use this, you've got to make sure that it's set up right. And we've been how long have we been doing this? 6 years or something like that, Katie? Yeah. Whatever it is, it's a long time. And when you've been doing this for 6 years, as with most things, I always think a definition of an expert is someone who has messed up many times. And we have messed up many times because people, go, oh, I got a recipe for a piece of equipment that I don't have. Why are you giving me something for a slow cooker? I don't have a slow cooker. And you buy all the ingredients, you get all excited, and there's nothing. You feel like somehow you've been cheated. You put your faith into a website and some technology, and you bought all the stuff, judiciously made sure you had everything, and then you can't make it because you don't have a slow cooker. So that's just like a real life scenario. So what we did is we added this. Look, you go into the Whole30 meal plan here and go into advanced settings, you can decide what you have and don't have in your kitchen so that we don't give you recipes for things that you can't physically make. And there's a few other settings in here. And in here in the diet and schedule, if you've never seen this before, you can set your Whole30 on a specific date. And then it's already set to Whole30, but you can also do Whole30 and you can also, so we've set all the Whole30 food groups here. These are all the things you can't eat on Whole30. But you can also say, I don't eat Whole30 and, oh, here I already added pork. As an example, I was showing someone earlier today how you can get rid of pork. So this is a porkless Whole30. And so I'm gonna put that back in again because I do actually want some pork. I want some bacon. And in here, you can even exclude a whole bunch of ingredients. So in this example, if you see the getting started video, maybe you'll see this. You'll see that I've removed all this. So I'm going to include all the coconut stuff, so I can have coconut oil and stuff. So I've changed my diet back to a proper Whole30 there. And then in here, you can change your schedule. You can say, how often do you want to make dinner? Do you want leftovers? So all of this leads to making a set of decisions that you save and then you update your plan. And it's going to make it, there's a little man now running inside the code in the machine. And it's going, now, does want coconut, does want pork, wants to be part of the Whole30, wants to have this many meals, and all of this stuff, like it's working all out. And then you go to the meal planner and then here it is. Ba-dum. So now we have what I asked for. Oh, there's the coconut cauliflower rice. So it's back in again. These are automated plans. And this is really, at this point, we go, good luck, have at it, have a great Whole30. Thank you for joining Meal Plans. But life's kind of upside down right now. And in the last few weeks, we've been thinking, well, I mean, it all started when I went to Whole Foods. It's like kind of the store near my house. It's like the flagship Whole Foods, huge thing. I walk in, it was about 5 weeks ago, and they'd run out of carrots, like fresh carrots. Remember, Katie, I was telling you this. And then it was like, and then there was like fresh. She's the reason she's typing right now. She's answering questions on the webinar, and then they'd run out of fresh garlic too. It's like, oh no, we've got this meal planner here where we're saying, hey, you can make all of these meals and go to this. Here's a shopping list. Go to the shops, go and get it, and then of course you're going to go there, and there's a chance you're not going to be able to get it. So we thought, how can we help? Well, maybe you do things in the reverse. We're thinking, maybe you go to the store, get, most of the ingredients that you think you should be getting and see what there is, bring it back. And then you can do this. Let me show you. It's called My Pantry. So you see this little unassuming icon over here, the pantry. So this is not linked to the shopping list or anything. It's basically asking the question, what do you have in your kitchen? And we'll find recipes that you can already make. And the key here is that it's going to find you Whole30 recipes that you can already make. So what I've done is I've gone through here and I've put in what I already have in my pantry. Now, we're also using substitutions. So I'm going to explain that too. So you see these little question marks here. If you click on one, we're showing you what we mean by this. If you say you have some chicken pieces, we're saying that you have chicken thigh, chicken breast. You have one of these. Because if you're stuck for inspiration and you're looking at a recipe and it has all the right herbs and kind of it's pretty good and it's all to do with chicken thighs, but you could replace that with chicken legs. And so what we're doing is we've consolidated ingredients so that we give you a kind of more of an improvised workings into real plans, and you're able to get to the recipes that you want. So you can do that and all of that, and then you can view the available recipes, And now here you've got the available recipes that you can have. And here we've put an origin of my pantry in here. We're saying there's 37 things based on what I've checked off in my pantry that I can already make. And what I could even do, and this is very rebellious, but you could just go over to here, clear the planner out completely, and you can make your own Whole30. Because you have the tools to do so now. And you can say, all right, well, and you can go in here and you can even, with my pantry checked, split this down into, oh, look, there's a couple of soups that I can already make. Or there's some entrees. Or you can really go down to some, there's lots of different things you can look at, like how many have just over 3 ingredients. Like simple stuff that you can look at. So if I look at the grilled chicken here, it says here, you need some chicken breast, and you need some leg quarters. Well, you said you had some chicken pieces. Boom. Then you can do this. And maybe in your spice cabinet, you have some sage and some garlic, onion, paprika. You don't have to use all of this stuff, but you definitely, in order to make grilled chicken, you need some chicken pieces. And so therefore, you can bring that onto your plan like so and drag it over. Now what we're saying is, oh, what about if you run out of chicken pieces? Well, maybe you have run out of chicken pieces. And basically you're saying, if you had lots of chicken pieces sitting in your, if you had a lot of chicken pieces sitting in your fridge or freezer, then you wouldn't have to check that off, because then we would continue giving you recipes. But now you can see we've updated your recipes here to not include recipes. You can only do 27 recipes now. Now, another very cool thing, and it's like I'm trying to remember, Katie, when did this come up? Wasn't it like we were building my pantry, and then we were just on accident, we found this. I was playing around with the code, and we realized that we could ask the question, what would be the next most important ingredient that you should either tell us you have or go and get, because it'll unlock more recipes. In other words, it'll unlock a greater number of recipes that you can use. So if you go back into my pantry here.
Yeah, it actually, I think probably people are having this problem. When you order groceries online, a lot of times you can edit the order up to a certain point. And stores have been limiting that. And so now it was one of those things that, if I can edit just a couple of things, these are the important ingredients that I absolutely want to have.
And so obviously chicken pieces have just come back in again. So if only you had some chicken pieces or a whole chicken. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to pretend that I've still got some chicken pieces and I've still got a whole chicken as well. Let's imagine that. And then let's go back to important ingredients again. What else you got? Ooh, if you had some sweet potato in your ham, 11 recipes? Really? Anyway, there, and also because I brought pork back in, and so ham apparently is a big deal, and so on and so forth. So it's helping you kind of figure out really how to get the most number of recipes. So with 42 available recipes, you can totally make up, a meal plan and just put it in. And what's interesting about this is there's a statistic somewhere. I can't remember where it was, but it was that most families or households or people who cook for a household, they can remember about 9 recipes. So if you think about that, it's like, yeah, you're probably churning out, if you have ground beef that you're pulling out each morning to cook for that evening, you're probably going to prepare it in the same way. Stick some onions with it, garlic, onion powder, boom. But, there's like multiple ways of doing stuff with ground beef that you would be able to kind of play around with, which is, another way of thinking about using this tool. So I think that's the main thing I wanted to cover. I was in 20 minutes. It's very fast, but I wanted to kind of make sure that everyone got a good grounding at the beginning of the webinar on what we're up to. Are there any questions, Katie, that people are asking that you want to talk about?
Not so far, but one thing I wanted to do, if you could just quick rerun the meal plan there up top, there was something on the grocery list I wanted to talk about.
Oh, so up here, rerun the plan?
Yep, just so you have a full plan.
Okay. So what we're doing here is we're rerunning the automated meal plan. And the automated meal plan, if you remember earlier on in the call, we were looking at the schedule. So by doing this, we're basically saying, all right, let's rerun this plan. And we could rerun this. If you didn't like the look of this and you wanted a different plan, you could just rerun it again. Here you go, Katie, just rerun it for you.
Perfect. Now, if you'll go to the shopping list.
Sure. Oh, and by the way, if you click on there, you've got timeline and shopping list. Timeline is, I didn't show you this. This is what to do when. Okay, let's go to the shopping list. Okay, yep.
Perfect. This is great. So mayonnaise is one thing that comes up a lot on Whole30. Obviously, you have to buy a specific mayonnaise to be Whole30 compliant. Could be hard to get right now because all the stores obviously have limited stock. So that make your own there, if you want to talk about how that works, that'll be a great one.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. So we're always encouraging people to, cook, make stuff with ingredients that you can pronounce. And just get into understanding what your food is made up of. And I think that's what, a lot of the philosophy of Whole30 is all about, is food freedom, like being connected to your food in a new way. And so this make your own here is basically saying, okay, well, instead of buying a tub of mayonnaise, you can just make your own, and you can add this recipe to your meal plan. And now what happens is that it'll put a mayonnaise recipe into your plan. So let's go and have a look. Where is the mayonnaise recipe?
It is on Sunday lunch.
Sunday lunch, there it is. And so now this recipe says you need some eggs, lemon, some coconut oil, some Dijon mustard, some sea salt, and some olive oil. And you can make your own mayonnaise. And it's actually pretty fun to make. The real trick with it is step 4, just so you know. It's you drip in that coconut oil and the olive oil into there, and that's what makes the mayonnaise work. I've done it myself a number of times, and if you don't do the drippy drip and you're in a rush, it doesn't look like mayonnaise. But if you do that, you do have mayonnaise, homemade mayonnaise, and you put it in the fridge. It's absolutely delicious, and you can scoop it up, and you know that it's made of stuff that you've got in the house and everything else like that. But the point that Katie wants to make is that now you need to buy some eggs, and you need to buy some this and that. And what it's doing is it's splitting out the ingredients and saying, well, you don't need to buy mayonnaise anymore. Instead, you need to buy the component ingredients that make up the mayonnaise. Isn't that fun? I love that.
Perfect. So anything where you see that make your own, you are welcome to click that button and it will add that for you.
Just out of interest, how did you know that there was going to be a make your own on that one?
It was just a gamble.
It was just a gamble? Wow,
I just like to live life on the edge these days.
Yeah, it feels like I'm already living on the edge. 18 eggs here. So now it says you need some scrambled egg, some for the scrambled egg, and then you need some of the homemade mayonnaise and some for the fried eggs here. See? So it's now added those 2 eggs to make sure you have enough eggs. It's really quite scientific, this, isn't it? I think it's what's cool about Real Plans is I've always been into computers. I started coding when I was like 7 years old. I don't know if I ever told you this, Katie, but I got a computer from my parents when I was 7. And I started coding on it, and it was really fun. And ever since, I've just been fascinated with how to make computers do things that are super useful for humans. And this thing, people love this because it actually works. You know what I mean? Like the stupid make your own mayonnaise. I mean, what's that all about? But it works, and it helps, and it means people have enough eggs to make the things that they want to make. So I get all excited when I talk about this stuff.
Love it. We do have a couple of questions. The first one actually is on topic because it's for the shopping list. It says, this is from Mindy. Mindy asks,
Hi, Mindy.
For the shopping list, will items you add this week that you could not get, will they go on to next week's shopping list?
No. But I've been thinking about that. Unless, Katie, you know different. But no, I don't think you do that, because unless there was a recipe that you couldn't make because you couldn't get the ingredients, you can move a recipe to the next week and then do it that way. Yeah.
Because you're not going to be able to make the recipe without the ingredients.
Yeah. And I'm not going to confuse everyone with our enormous change order list of things that we want to do with Real Plan. I mean, we have years of things that we could do with this based on all the suggestions that you guys have. But it's better when you're presenting software to show you what we do and what we don't do. So I hope that helps.
Oh, I've got one more question.
Okay.
This is from Nancy.
Hi, Nancy.
What is the easiest way to add a recipe that's not in the database already?
Oh, okay. Let me help you with that. So now, did I mention that there would be a child here at some point and she wants her banana opened? I'm going to wave to everybody here, Frankie. There's many people all over the country right now. You're like the most famous banana eater. Off you go.
Thank you. I feel honored.
Okay. All right. I did warn you. Okay. So where were we? What were we talking about?
The easiest way to add a recipe.
Easiest way to add a recipe. Okay. Let me show you that. So let me get my face off here, and then you can go over to the recipe box here. Oh, I haven't shown you the recipe box. The recipe box gets you the same list as you get over on the planner, except that you just have big pictures. Same filter. It's just a nice way of looking at things. And I think it's kind of inspiring to look at stuff. You can change how many things you see per page. Let's see, 64 recipes. And you can scroll through this way. You can do your thing. But there's this little link right here saying import recipe. And if you do that, you can put in a URL so you can browse around. Let's do this one. holisticsquid.com, Chili Colorado. holisticsquid.com, Chili Colorado. Features, please. Chili Colorado for dinner perfection. That's a great picture right there. So there we go. I want this. So I can copy this, and then I can go in here, and I can put it into this link here. You can also do this manually, by the way. Was it Nancy who asked this question?
Yes.
Hi, hey, Nancy. Okay, so you can manually do this, but I'm doing it fancy way. I'm pointing it at a website. Now, if the website has, it doesn't have like crazy banners on it, meaning, like sales banners and sign up here for this and that, then look, you can basically get very artistic and you can go, I want my picture like this. And then it brings in the how to prepare if it's a numbered list on that page. And if it's a bulleted list, it'll bring in the ingredients. And then you can start adding things down here if you like. And we actually, in order for it to schedule, you need to give it a main ingredient, I think a season, and what else? Oh, you need to say what kind of course. Let's say it's an entree like this. Okay, there we go. So you save it like that. And what it does is it grabs all of the ingredients in that little text box. This took many weekends and evenings to get this done. But it puts the ingredient in this column, and you just make sure that everything looks right. It's good, and we know what category your things are from because we recognize what the ingredient is. The ingredient already exists in Real Plans. And then it knows the unit of measure and the quantity. This is not a page to be skipped, by the way, just so you know. And these little arrows here, you can move it from a note to an ingredient like this. So you move them around. Confirm. And then it says, oh, you don't have but one onion. You don't need each for that. You just confirm that. And now that little man is running around inside of Real Plans and putting it inside. And there we are. And you now have the URL for this. So you can go back to it if you wanted to. And now we don't let you share this recipe with other Real Planners because of licensing issues. We feel that it's not fair to someone who, if you write it down on a piece of paper off a website, of course, all these people who come up with recipes want you to use their recipes. But if we were then going to aggrandize ourselves or make our software better on the back of everyone else's work. We didn't think that was very fair. So you can't share these recipes, but you can totally use it inside your own recipe box. And then that's it. And then you can schedule it. Why don't we schedule it for, let's say, today? So we find it for lunch today. Boom. Can either stay here or you can go to the meal planner. And now you go to the meal planner, and now you have chili Colorado. Ooh, we've got some leftovers planned. But chili Colorado here, and those ingredients are now in your shopping list. So now you have a proper imported recipe that you can use over and over again, and you'll be able to find it over here in your imported by you origin, and you'll be able to find your chili Colorado there in case you wanted to get it again. And there you have it.
Awesome. I actually have a couple of questions that go right with that. If you want to open that chili Colorado up.
Yeah.
Someone has a question about how you add what they refer to as a goes well with item in the lower left, which is what we call a serve with.
Oh, the serve with. Okay, let's see. So you modify the recipe. You can modify any recipe, modify a Real Plans one or anything like that. And you see the serve with there? You just click the plus sign and then you find recipes. So let's say a salad. You can go through here and you can, look at these nice little pictures. I didn't know we did this, Katie. Look at these little pictures.
I know, isn't that nice?
Oh, this is awesome. We should have this in all of our search things. You can't see that Katie's just raised her eyebrows at me because it's given more work to do. But anyway, that's how you do it, like that. And anything else while we're in here? Is there another question like that, or?
Similar. I have if I modify a recipe, which I think this would be like one of the Real Plans recipes, and remove an ingredient, does it stay removed for the next time? And does it fix the shopping list accordingly? It
does, yeah. So what it's doing, it's saying it's like a modified Real Plans recipe, basically. So you can change it all you like. We then disappear the original recipe from your recipe box. So you no longer see the original. You see your version of it. So yeah, that's exactly. And you just modify it. You do the ingredient thing like I just showed you, like remove or change it out or substitute, whatever you like. And then it becomes your recipe. So I think the thing with Real Plans, you can really very much, you can go in two directions, actually. You can either add more recipes and then, or that we've already input into the system, or you can just kind of import your own and add your own set of recipes. And so, and there's something important to note as well, is that if in the event you decide then you want to cancel at the end of your Whole30, we hope you don't. We hope that this is something so useful because you save, $6 on that asparagus that you bought and you left it in the freezer because you didn't have a plan, or fridge because you didn't have a plan. I think we more than help you economically with stuff and inspire you to do stuff. But if you don't, even importing all these recipes, you can still access the recipe box for free. And so you're able to, you just can't plan and do all the other fancy stuff, but you can still, kind of access your recipes. So don't feel that if you added recipes that somehow in the future you wouldn't be able to get to them. The other way to think about stuff is if you're not an importer and wanting to do a bunch of admin like that, you can just go here, look, you can just upgrade. Can upgrade. And then when you upgrade, what we do is we have lots of, like Melissa Joanne's Well Fed, that has loads of Whole30 compliant recipes in there that you can click into. And you basically just, I think, pay like another $1 a month or what have you. And then you can include, and that money is mostly going to these people here who came up with the recipes in the first place. So you can also do that. And the idea behind having these add-ons is that, back in the day, I used to play the odd computer game. And when you're racing cars around a track and then they say to you, oh, if you want to go to the next league, you can upgrade your engine. Then, you spend a little gold coin and then you buy it. That's basically what we're doing here. And it keeps you interested and inspired to meal plan. Katie?
I think I have one last one from Tammy. We've been very busy with questions over here.
Fantastic. Yeah, so it should be. Yeah, love it.
it'll be interesting if you and I would do this the same way. Tammy wants to know if you can adjust the shopping list to add cost to them. So like to make your own notes, I would assume and say, okay, well, I need 5 pounds of ground beef, and ground beef is $4.99 a pound. Do you have a way you would do that?
Okay, yeah. So we can talk to you about that. So, well, first of all, let me show you this. There are various ways. So you could do that. You could add some pricing because you can add notes to all of your ingredients and you can have them come up and you can cost it in that way. But we've thought long and hard about this. Tammy, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Tammy. We thought long and hard about this question, and it's basically, how do you do a budget meal plan? How do you make sure that you can stay within a specific budget? And especially at these times, this is a very important question to answer. So there's 2 ways that I would go about it. Rather than costing out each bit, I would go an overall where I'd be taking meal plans that would be more cost effective. Let me show you a couple of ways. So one way over here is that the Real Plans team, the Whole30 team, remember I was showing you this automated thing where you can go, you fix your diet, you go and sort out your plan, and then it comes up with an automated plan. They have these templates. And what they've done is they've created a budget Whole30 template. And you do that. You say when you want to start. Say I want to start today. And you can overwrite the existing plan and you can apply the template like so. So what this is doing now is that this is disregarding your schedule, not your portion size, but certainly your schedule. And it's saying, all right, there it is. We're done. So now when you go back to the plan, what it's doing is it's now putting in, and the nice thing about the schedule is that these guys have done a really great job of doing a lot of leftovers, and also they talk to you in notes, which is rather nice of them, and they say things to you. So you can do a template. That's one way of dealing with the budget, and then you can look at that and decide whether this is something you want to do. But the shopping lists have been specifically designed, no matter where you are in this country or another country, that you're going for ingredients that are more budget. That's another way of doing it as well that I wanted to show you. And what you can do is you can look at ingredient cost here. So let's say that I wanted to look at all of my Whole30 meals. So I've got 1,000 of them here. And I wanted to look at some entrees. That gets me down to 486. I can scroll through 486 Whole30 compliant. I'm gonna still go down a little more. Let's just say we're looking for chicken ones. Okay. Chicken entrees that are Whole30 compliant. Very good. Now look at this, ingredient cost. So rather than, you can pare down this way, and what we're showing you here is we're going for recipes that no matter where you are, your ingredients are going to cost less. And then you can use this to make up your plan. So you go along, chili lime chicken, you add that for lunch. You can then look inside of it. You've got some things that you can do, and you can decide based on your own, avocado's an expensive thing for you guys. Don't do that. Go for the cauliflower, like cauliflower rice. I do that a lot in my house. Instead of potatoes, if we're not wanting to have as many carbs, you need to do the old cauliflower rice like that. So Tammy, I hope that helps. And I hope that kind of gives you a good kind of understanding. And also, I wanted to throw something out there for you guys. Now, if you've made it this far into the webinar, the premise is that you're probably into Real Plans, that you're already in Real Plans and it's good, or you're thinking of getting Real Plans. And this is not for Tammy, because I don't know who Tammy is, but I'm saying this to anyone who's listening in. If you're really struggling with finances right now, and yet you're still trying to do the food freedom thing, and you're wanting to do this, then contact our support and we'll help you out. We don't want to do this, obviously, we don't publicize this. on our website at the bottom, hey, do you just want to do this for free? Because otherwise, well, I wouldn't be able to pay Katie for once, and I wouldn't be able to pay for my food and everything else. This is a professional service. We're all like working our asses off to make this work and to make it really good. And that's what you're paying for when you pay your subscription. But if you're really struggling, then and you really want to do this, or you love what you're doing, or you're already in, Whole30, please feel free to contact support. Tell us your story, and then we can see what we can do for you. So anyway, I wanted to offer that out there. I know this is a crazy time for many, many people. And it's counterintuitive, but the thing that everyone should be thinking about right now is making sure that they have a strong immune system. And a strong immune system comes from drinking lots of water, sleeping lots, watching less of the news cycle and getting stressed out about, everything that's going on, and just being less stressed out, and eating well. And I think that eating well, water you can get, hopefully. Sleep is something that hopefully you can control too. But the eating part isn't always so easy, especially if you're stuck and you're looking at the country going, what do I do? I'm lost. So Real Plans is designed for that. So anyway, I hope it doesn't mean that everyone just kind of comes in and goes, well, I can't. But for those of you, and reserve it for those of you who are really struggling, please contact us. Please let us help you. And for the rest of you, I hope that all of the hard work that we've put into this is going to be something that you want to sign up for, or that this helps you if you've already signed up. Thank you so much for putting your faith in us. I hope that this is going to go a long ways to giving you that food freedom and bolstering your immune system, whether there's a pandemic or not. This is an important thing to have good energy through the day.
Awesome. I think that just about wraps us up.
All right. Well, there you go. Thank you so much to everyone for joining. And I hope that this goes some way to opening up a new way of thinking over the next few weeks on how you eat and how you relate to the kitchen. Thanks, everyone.
Have a great day.
Bye.